Halloween is coming around the corner, in my opinion, and aside from binging tons of TV shows and scary movies, I've been checking out some of the scary comic books I have. And although this one's actually more of a comedy one, I'm just going to move Fuzzy out of the way. Although this one's more of a comedy one, it of course deals with tons of fun, spooky stuff. So, Twiztid Haunted High-Ons. Of course, the very first question that everyone in the entire world should ask, what is a haunted High-On? And the only answer we got from the actual group Twiztid was that it's getting and ghost hunting. So, I'm thinking it would have been better if High-Ons was more like the word like seance, like it was a haunted High-Ons. I don't know. You can make up the rules of what that would be yourself. So let's get into this paperback, because I kind of wanted to review this mainly because I searched for a review of it and couldn't find one on YouTube, so I'm going to do one. Actually, I take that back. I could find one. It was someone had a hardcover copy, but all they really did was like open it and show off the little card that had people signed it and stuff like that. So this is kind of an ongoing series. This is the first story arc, though, within the series, The Darkness Rises, and it includes all 5 issues of that, but this volume actually also contains the very first one-shot issue that came out much earlier. So there's the cover for that. And I gotta say, the one-shot, not nearly as good as the rest of the series. It does have a fun little vibe to it, but there's a lot of, you could tell it's the first one. There's a lot of, I don't want to say cutting corners to get it right, but you'll notice there's plenty of scenes where you see the shop that they're working at in the background, and then numerous times where it's just kind of a green or a plain color. And I understand that. You're drawing characters that are based off of people in real life, like it is based off the band or rap group. No, I guess band now. Twiztid. So I know that's probably the hardest part of getting this, so I can imagine there was going to be some time that needed to be cut to make schedules. And it's a nice first little introduction to what the series is going to be about, the one-shot. And if you actually go to Twiztid's YouTube page, they actually did a motion comic for the one-shot, where it's just their voices sort of reading the characters. Unfortunately, it sounds like they kind of might have done it over Skype, so the sound quality is not the greatest, and I would say it's the least enjoyable issue of the 6. But it gets the ball rolling, introduces the characters, and once you get to the actual issue 1, that's when it starts looking really cool. And that's the parts that I started liking. Everything's a little more colorful. There's a lot more detail, and it's more just everything's figured out now. Even the scenes, even the panels where they have just the background filled in with color. At least it's sort of like alternating colors and stuff like that, and they pick different colors obviously for different scenes, and there's some more interesting full page shots of some of the artwork. So the artwork, I gotta say, is actually really, really good, other than maybe that very first one-shot issue. I mean, the artwork is good, but the overall presentation, I'll say, wasn't quite what it could be. But I mean, again, I'm trying to figure out what the compensation for all of the reasoning behind the color just in sort of the back of some panels. But they introduce an obvious villain, or a guy that's obviously going to turn out to be bad, and basically it's about these 2 guys who are Twiztid, and they find out that they have a ghost hunting business, but I don't know how you would explain this. They don't. They've never really run into a real ghost until now. So The main story actually doesn't have all of the group Twiztid, because one of the guys, spoiler alert, it's pretty early in the story arc, gets kidnapped by the villain, and it's about kind of getting him back and saving him. So he doesn't have as much of a so that's Paul. He doesn't have as much as a character, I would say, in this first story arc. But the character, so it's really more about the character Jamie, who is a lot more of a cartoon character than, like, I think they did a really good job at, like, even, the rap group Twiztid, they paint their faces. So for the comic book, when they go ghost hunting, their faces are painted up. But then when they're working just at the shop or whatever, or when their drummer shows up, they don't have their faces painted. But once their drummer gets ready to go out, that's him. He's kind of got the most, like, Kiss looking face, I'd say, of all of them, as far as face paint goes. And then that guy is another label mate of theirs, Blaze Ya Dead Homie, and then these guys are Axe. So there's a ton of cameos from other musicians, but I gotta say, as far as a comic book written or co-written or whatever by musicians, this was one of the best I've read. And now I know that there's a few segments where they have different illustrators, but for the most part, it is the same illustrator and same colorist that work throughout the comic book. There is some bonus features in this edition. I kind of skimmed through that last little bit because I don't want to spoil anything, but they do have a variant cover gallery. It's not full page, so it is just some of these ones. They do actually have, one of the covers was actually drawn by Jamie Madrox from Twiztid. So, has an eye. Oh, there he is. Oh, two of the covers were drawn by him. That's how I used to take pictures. When someone wants a picture of you, you just made, like, the most ridiculous face. Oh, and all the backers, I guess. Yeah. Cool. So that's all that's really in it. It's the 6 issues, plus the cover gallery at the back. Okay, so overall impressions. The binding started coming undone while I was flipping through it, so that's not good. That is Source Point Press, in case you're wondering. But overall, the story I thought was really good. The thing I liked maybe the most about it was it kind of scratched an itch that had desperately needed scratching for a while. I'm gonna bring this up. This is a movie that I've often cited as the reason I never watched the TV show Supernatural is because this movie is better than that. But unfortunately, although the book series continued, they never made more movies of this. And I kind of wanted something that felt like that movie. And I gotta say, if they keep doing more of these, like the next story arc, that's gonna make me happy. The next story arc is actually, it's called the Curse of the Green Book, which is based on, I'm assuming, off of Twiztid's third album, The Green Book. I liked this comic book. I'm gonna say something controversial. Not my favorite album by Twiztid. Sorry. Still has some really good songs on it. Hom Shabam. That is a very good Halloween song. Go check out the music video for that. So there's a fan that made an animated one. But yeah, I really thought Twiztid Haunted High-Ons was a step above what some other musical artists have created when they've stepped into the foray of comic books. But yeah, I was just... and bonus extra info. They actually have their own comic book convention now called Astronomicon. And this is what happens when you kind of like listen to a band and then forget about them, or COVID happens, and then you like check back in on them, and they've done like 3 albums and have their own tennis shoes and all that weird stuff. And yeah, that was fun. Oh, and they became a rock band for at least one album. Haven't opened that yet. Time for an impromptu unboxing. Don't worry, it's like the last 2 minutes of this. Alright. Oh yeah. Get ready for that. Yeah. Oh, those unboxing sounds. Ooh, feels like the CD might be loose. Was a bit loose. Alrighty. We're to talk in whispers because it's an unboxing video. It looks ridiculously colorful. The disc. Once again, if you've purchased CDs from this record company, they often have their credits on the inside of the CD case. Will it have lyrics? Will it not? That's kind of cool. It's like a poster. It does not. Actually, it's kind of like two posters. In fact, that was probably done on purpose, and that's why they have the credits on here. Oh, hear that? Well, I'll have to fix that later. Back! So if you're into a bit of horror and comedy with a more lighthearted approach than I think anyone was expecting from a horrorcore rap group, now rock band, then I'd strongly recommend this. I did a bit of research into some of its creation, and I saw an interview with the editor, and she said of all our clients, this is like the easiest one to work with, and although the writer, Dirk Manning, is one of the funnest but sometimes challenging one to work with. And I can imagine, because I looked up an interview with him and Twiztid, and he definitely seems like one of those guys that loves to, if he finds out that you're offended by something, he'll push your buttons just to be funny. So, but the book itself, very I don't know, PG-13 rated, shall we say. But I loved it. It was good stuff. Thank you for watching, and as always, stay cuddly.